Hello to all you Spurs fans near and far. This is the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast, a podcast for all you Spurs fans around the world. And it's make or break time. It's make or break time, Yids. Myself, Lee Tarrier Bat, it's Kevin Dennis and Matty Kerr. How you doing, lads? You okay?
All good, mate. All good.
It's I mean, Matt, I've been away a couple of weeks, and I must admit, lads, I've obviously watched the games, but it's felt really weird. It's felt really weird. I've listened to the podcast, which has been great when Jamie Bradley was on, when you guys were chatting after the City game as well. But it just felt really weird because it's literally come down to this. And I don't know about how you lot felt yesterday, but like the league games are almost you obviously you want a result, but it's all about Thursday, and it's just felt a little bit flat again. Matt, was you there yesterday?
I wasn't, mate. I won't be going. I'll be honest, because of my knee operation, I probably won't be going the rest of the season, if I'm honest. Only if we do get the later stages of the Europa League or something like that. If I'm off completely walking, then I can. But right now, I can't. But I'm glad I'm not going at the minute, mate, because I feel disheartened. I feel empty at the minute. What's going on? And I feel like the league is what it is now. We're not even going to get top 10, so it is what it is, you know. And we have to. I think it's win or bust for Ange on Europa League. That is it. It's win or bust.
It's literally that, is it? And that's how I felt. I mean, Kev, was you weren't there yesterday, was you, Kev? You didn't go yesterday?
Yeah, no, I went to the game yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, you went? Oh, yes, yeah. Mate, perfect. How did you feel? And like, what have you been feeling? Because obviously, I've been listening to the show from afar while being away. It's just felt like we've all been waiting for AZ. Did that feel like how it was yesterday in the ground?
Yeah, definitely. I think people are sort of kind of expecting upside down performances at the moment in the league, especially playing against decent sides like Bournemouth. I think people are just are going because they have to go, or probably can't get rid of their tickets. And like you said, it's all about the Europa League and Europe now. But yeah, I'm before I went yesterday, I was one of them that I was still really into the league games because I kind of believe in morale and stuff like that, and you know, just supporting your team as you normally would, and no matter how bad Spurs are or how much we've got to play for, it's in me to go down there and support them still. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird vibe down there yesterday, and I mean, I felt like the way we played, especially in the first half, and for moments the second half, kind of sums it up where we are at the minute. You know, just sort of inconsistency in our play. Don't get me wrong, we showed some great character to come back into it, but you know, I thought we got let off the hook a few times against a really good side actually in Bournemouth. So they're just the kind of teams we don't really want to be playing at the moment. But yeah, so before the Bournemouth game, I'd still like to get as many points as I can in the league. But yeah, yesterday sort of summed it up for me as where we are as a club at the moment, as in the support inside the stadium. It was quite embarrassing of how quiet it was and how loud Bournemouth were, because I think everyone's head's on Thursday. But you know, I think that is how it's going to be now until the end of the season in the league, especially. So, I mean, I think the Europa League run now is really what everyone's going to be excited about, and when they do go down there for these games in the Europa League, that's when you'll probably hear the atmosphere. But yeah, apart from the league ones, you know, that'd probably be my last home league game that I'll go to, because yeah, it's just really flat down there, and it ain't really the way I know it down there at the moment. So yeah, and I think it feeds off into the players, and I think that's why you get players making silly mistakes in minute one, giving the ball away. I mean, I couldn't say how many times we gave the ball away yesterday, and it really is where we are at the moment, especially in the league. And listen, I'm sure we'll get onto the Alkmaar game from last week, but yeah, we're in a right funny place at the moment, and it's not really that enjoyable to go down there.
This is the thing, though, as well, because how was the ticket sold for AZ now? I know I got an email the other day saying, "Oh, there's the return leg, the home leg. There's tickets available." I mean, obviously,
yeah. Well, I mean, a few of us, I think Matt might be saying, we're in like an automatic cup scheme, so basically we don't have to go and buy our tickets. They're already taken out of our account, and the money's taken out of our account when the game comes up. So we've really we've got them tickets as soon as they come out, so we don't really have to buy them. So that's how I get them. I couldn't tell you how. I think even though you might be in that cup scheme, if you don't buy your tickets, you still have another window to buy them. Saying, but with being in the automatic cup scheme, you just don't have the hassle of going online and buying them. It's just taken out your account, and you also get the extra loyalty points at the start of the season by being in that cup scheme. So I don't really know any different of how it works, but so I don't have a choice. I mean, I could sell my ticket if I don't want to go, but ideally, you're sort of guaranteed every cup game through the automatic cup scheme.
What was did you get in the pubs yesterday? Like, was you anywhere before the game?
Yeah, well, I got down a bit late yesterday because my boys' football team went into extra time, so we got down there a bit late. I got into the Red Cow about 12:30 in Cheshunt, so it weren't too bad. But yeah, listen, I wasn't really going to go down the yesterday, but I mean, I haven't been at home for a while now. I've obviously been doing a lot of away games, and my son ain't been for a while, so I wanted to go down there really and give him a chance to watch them instead of watching a European game, because we go to all the European games. But I wanted to have a good drink down there yesterday because I don't know when I'm going to be down there again on a weekend. So yeah, really good. I thought once the game was done, we sort of hit the bricklayers and went in the coach and horses. Big shout out to Tina, if people listen to this who go into the coach and horses, they know Tina, who runs the pub, and she's such a lovely woman. She looks after my boy when I go in there, and things that used to happen to me when I was a kid going in the pub, getting your free peanuts and your crisps and all that. She does all that for him. So he loves going down there. And I'll tell you what, I went to the White Horse as well last night. I've been meaning to go in there.
I like it in there, I like it in there.
It's changed, isn't it? They've done it all up. They've made it all like sort of open now. You can go through.
Yeah.
So I've got a nice pool table in the back as well. So yeah, we ended up in there last night, and I was stayed out there all night last night, and but my mate wanted to get us home, so, and the boy had school in the morning as well. So but yeah, it was, apart from that, it was a good day, really. It was good to see people in the stadium I ain't seen for a while. And I mean, someone didn't fucking recognise me. It's been that long, because I've either been sitting in another seat, or I've been away, or my boys got football and you can't get down on a Sunday. So it was nice to see everyone. Apart from the football side of it, it was nice to see everyone and get in the pubs and have a good drink yesterday. And I did have a fucking good drink yesterday. So yeah, apart from the sort of negativity around the place into the game, the rest of the day was pretty good.
That's the thing that I guess that I was glad to hear that you said that you enjoyed, and going to the different pubs. Whitehall's, again, I'm a big fan of that, especially if I'm coming down off of the train, or sometimes I get that Superloop bus, so it stops at Silver Street, and I make my way through. That goes from Whitehall's then into Gilpin, and then so on and so forth, Coach and Horses and on. And I do like the Whitehall's, and that's what I'm saying. I'm glad to hear that the culture of enjoying the day has still been there, because I don't want that to lose, because everything else seems like it has been. Like you say, Kev, it's a flat in the stadium. Thursday has to be a cauldron of noise. It has to be. For us to go through. We beat them 1-0. I was at the game when we beat them 1-0 in the league phase. When, if I remember, I think Madison took the penalty. Had a bit of an argument with Richarlison, took the penalty. And even that day, I was like, we had enough quality to beat them. And it was when Mikey Moore shone. He had a great game that night. But we didn't do enough, and I thought, like, bloody hell, this game's, we don't look like they're going to beat us, but at 1-0 we don't look like we're going to score more. So it's a massive game on Thursday. So everyone has to be a big noise. And Matt, I know we have talked throughout the season, both on here, in our group chat. Big love to Cav, who runs the Twitter. He was saying yesterday, like, right now, and this was at 2-1, but right now he goes, lads, what are you thinking, Anjin and Anjat? And the first person I thought of was Matt. I was like, Matt, where was your head at? Because you have been, and in a good way, the staunchest of Anjin. Now that we've got this, it's win or bust, isn't it, Thursday? Where is your head based on what Cav was saying and what we spoke about all season?
Do you know what, Lee? I'm still Anjin, crazy enough, right? And the reason being, I know we've had a lot of injuries throughout the season, and he's just getting them back. Like Ramiro only played 60 minutes, Van der Ven 30 minutes. And that's going to go, they're not going to be fully fit until the later stages, probably the semi-final. If we play, quarter-final, we play Frankfurt or Ajax. So they're not going to be fully fit until then. And then it doesn't help that Kulu's now out, and we don't know how long Kulu's out for. So I feel like it's one thing after another, but I'll be honest. if Ange doesn't win on Thursday, Ange is sacked on Friday morning. Like, there is no thing about it.
Wow.
And I'm kind of at the point where I think I'm not even bothered anymore. Like, if the new manager comes in, it's going to be Ryan Mason to the end of the season. I've been through this before, and I think to myself, we're an absolute shambles of a club right now. Like, we're in a bad way, but we shouldn't be in a bad way. The squad we've got, we should not be in this mess. I know, like, the injuries throughout the season have played a massive part, but if Ange doesn't win on Thursday, he's gone.
Well, yeah, I think that's it. You know, I've always been a big fan of Ange. And I replied to Cav yesterday in the group. I don't know if you guys saw it, and I said, look, as much as I've wanted it to work, as much as I want it to work, as much as I love where we were, I think, like, even when we won those 3 games in a row, I still felt like, I don't know, it's just, there's so many mistakes. Yesterday, the Guardian put out Bournemouth had 9 touches of the ball at the start of the game and it had 3 shots on target. And it was us, sloppy mistakes again. And this is now with, all right, Romero is going to be rusty, he hasn't played, but this is with our first choice goalie, first choice centre half. We couldn't handle them. And we know, this is the one thing, we know Bournemouth stats on pressing and their style is all about winning that ball back quick and bursting forward. And
do you know what? They're probably the best team I've watched down at the Spurs.
Incredible, mate.
Do the pressing. I thought they were. I mean, they made the crowd tell the goalkeeper to pick it up and kick it long out of his hands, and cheered when he did it because they couldn't get out. And yeah, listen, with the Ange thing, I mean, I've been one all season to say, look, we need a bit of stability. We need to keep him. We need to get through these injuries. There's something there. But I mean, that Alkmaar game for me last Thursday was really 1 foot in, 1 foot out for me at the minute. It was a really, really poor display. And everything that he stands for as a manager and what he's told us was the complete opposite against Alkmaar. And I don't know if that was because he knows he's got another leg to play and he's hopeful, but there was no animation from him on the side. There was no, a bit like the other day, I didn't think there was any either. And it's like he's kind of give up with everyone else at the moment in certain games. And the Alkmaar game really is his, you know, his biggest game now. Well, the last Thursday was his biggest game in the season. And it's in your job's on the line. And if you can't get anything out of them for that game, I mean, we're lucky that team, that on last Thursday, that Alkmaar wasn't a better team, because if they was, we could have lost that 3 or 4-0 and we'd have been out, no matter about the second leg. So, I mean, he's got to find a way now to get them going. But I watch the body language of some of them players, and I just think, do they really want to do it for him at the moment? And I'm not sure. And listen, I've had rows with close mates, Evening Lee, my other mate Lee. We've had big rows over Ange, but maybe he was right. Maybe I was a bit smoke in the mirror with it all. But at the moment, it really looks like that he's on his last legs, and it's a shame. But yeah, that Alkmaar game for me last week was a real turning point for me of where I am with him and where this club's going to go, and can it carry on and win this Europa League this season. But on performances like that, if we get a better team in the next round and we beat Alkmaar Thursday, I mean, I don't see us lasting long in this competition with the way we played last Thursday. So it will be about if the players want to stand for him and fight for him now, because like you said, boys, it's if it goes tits up Thursday, it's over.
Boys, you mentioned Bournemouth's press, yeah? That was us not too long ago. We were screaming and shouting how good our press was. Ange Ball used to create chance after chance after chance. Tottenham don't even look like scoring now. We've bought Intel. I tell you now, if we go and sign him for 60 million, I'm raging, because even what I see of him so far is horrendous. I'd go and buy Liam.
Matt, he's not a centre forward though. I mean, I'm not saying he's been fantastic, but he's definitely not a centre forward.
Kev, honestly, I'd play Sonny over on the left, then Tell in a minute. I would. Like,
even on the wing, you wouldn't have him on the wing.
Yeah, I wouldn't have Tell in that squad. I think his first touch, everything is just all over.
Matt, there's a lot of players in that team at the minute that I wouldn't have fucking like.
Yeah, would you go spend 60 million on Tell?
No, I wouldn't. Not what I've seen so far. No. But what I saw in fucking clips and highlights of Bayern Munich, he looked like a real player. And I thought he's going to be too good for us. I mean, I'd like to see him have a run in his strongest position, which is out wide. But I don't know. I mean, I looked at Odegaard against Alkmaar, and Odegaard didn't beat his fucking man once.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's someone we spent a lot of money on. I just think there needs to be a bit of a clear out, especially in the middle of the park. It needs different players, but if a new manager comes in, the style changes. The decision making on what sort of players comes in changes. I don't know. Just at the moment, there's not one player out there for me who I feel could drag us through the trenches.
Do you not think Maddison's stepping up though, Kev? Like again, his through ball to Sonny yesterday got the penalty in it. Do you not think he is the one player in the middle of the park that you could probably be like, he's actually stepping up now?
When he fancies it, yeah. I mean, I think he's too hot and cold for what I thought he was going to be when we signed him. I mean, I was expecting a Christian Eriksen type, Christian Eriksen type, someone to really create things. But at the moment, for me, Kulu a few months ago was the player that would drag us through the trenches at the moment, and he's not there. So I just don't really see the player that if we're behind in the quarterfinal of the Europa League and we need to score a couple of goals and someone needs to really grab the game. I don't see a player in there right now that can do that for us. And that's the thing we've always said. We don't feel like there's enough leaders in that team, and that was something we should have looked at maybe in January, just getting the captain type in there. But I don't know. I mean, the group chat, the other group chat we were in, Matt. Brett said it yesterday, and he said while the game was on, do you remember when an Ange Spurs team used to create loads of chances in games? And we're not really doing that at the moment, and really worrying because they've obviously stopped doing what he's asking them to do. And we've been around this thing before where we've seen once the players stop, that's it. It's sort of over. But I hope.
I'm not giving up. Yeah, I'm not giving up. I'm still Ange. I honestly believe we have to get through Thursday no matter what. Even if it's 2-0, just scrape through. But the game against Ajax or Frankfurt, there is no excuse for shit performances from that point. Because you're going to have Ramiro and Van der Ven fully fit. You've got Porro, you've got Jed Spence, you've got Ndogi, Bentancur. But listen, the team
Matt, do you know what, though? Them players you're saying, I can tell you that Pedro Porro yesterday was the worst player on the pitch. I mean, I don't know if there's any stats out there that can show you how many times the Spurs give the ball away.
He was nowhere to be seen for the goal.
It's going to be a high percentage of how many times give the ball away, and Porro was a massive chunk of that. Bentancur, I don't know what he is anymore. Destiny Udogie was really poor against Alkmaar. Who's the other players you mentioned there? I mean, Sarr,
right. Awful.
Yeah, I mean, Sarr blows hot and cold, and I was a big fan of Sarr last year. I thought he was going to be a real player. I just think there's so many players in there at the moment that just are not kicking on, and have sort of, I mean, the senior players have got to stand accounted for in this traumatic season we've had. As long as with the manager, don't get me wrong, he doesn't get away with it, but some of these senior players have really let us down this year, and the only way they can sort of resurrect that now is by putting in performances and winning us a trophy. But on evidence of last week, if we get through, whether it's Ajax or Frankfurt, I don't know if we get through.
I'll be honest. Andrew's got 7 games to save his job, yeah? And it's not about the league. It's them Europa League games. I think it's 6 games, isn't it? 6 games.
It'd be 6, yeah.
Yeah, 6 games. They are 6 cup finals for him. If he loses, I'm going to say, if we go out in one of them, because it's a 2-leg tie, yeah? So if you lose away, you have to win at home. But the quarterfinal and semi-final, we're drawn at home. And I don't fancy us to go to Frankfurt, Amsterdam, or even Lazio or somewhere like that and go and win. So we have to win comfortably at home in them legs, because I don't see us winning away.
That's the problem, because this is every game that we've played in Europe this year. And Kev, you've been to a couple of them. You was at the first one, weren't you? What was the one? Where was the game you was at, Kev? Ferencváros. Right. We won the game, but how open was it? Galatasaray, cool. They could have had 6 goals in the first half, but we somehow only lost 4-3 with 10 men.
I'll be over there for the fucking next one as well.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
Yeah, I'll have to go because it's...
Which is lovely. And that's what we love. That fans like you will always be there. But as a team, we are so open. If we play away from home, whatever we like. I think Matty says we have to win either our first leg comprehensively at home, or somehow just maybe sneak a point or a draw, or lose by a goal, because I just was so open, and I don't know.
We've been open all year, haven't we? I mean,
We have, and this is what I'm saying now. I think now, and this is me, like, honestly, and I've loved many moments of what's happened with Ange. I was definitely Ange for a long time, but I've looked at it recently, and I'm like, we've had the scenarios with a lot of injuries and things, but we do not change. He's not changed, and I've got to be honest, it's very immature. It seems very naive, and I think now what's happened, sadly, I think these players have given up with him. They're like, we can't. He's got the guy. Don't know what he's doing. And
I mean, there was a camera went to Son and Maddison, didn't they, on the bench?
Yes, there was that.
And they both looked like they were questioning things, of pointing and doing this with their hands, and probably saying this isn't working the way we're doing it. And I don't think he knows any other way. And he's done the same way and done the same style throughout his managerial career, and he's come to the best league in the world. And for how great it was for us seeing attacking football, we've always conceded goals with that, and we kind of knew that was going to be. But I don't think we expected us to stop scoring goals, stop creating chances, and then that is where we're in the shit now, because they've stopped doing that. So, like you're saying there, Matt, he's got 6 cup finals. That is so much pressure for a manager who's obviously under severe pressure anyway. But you've got a win every single game, and you lose one heavy, you're probably out. And why they're not playing for him? I mean, how difficult is that going to be? I mean, I do just think it's a matter of time before we do go out and he's gone, and we're going to have Ryan Mason for the rest of the season.
Right, listen, Kev. So you said about all this, yeah. These are professional footballers, yeah. So we all know, we've all played football. If something's not working, even if your manager's going to tell you to play one way, this is what it comes to: the lack of leaders on that pitch to adapt to something. Like, do you think, I think Ramiro is a leader, yeah? He's the only one I would say that is probably the leader in that squad. Like, if it's not working Thursday, do you think he takes responsibility and be like, right, this ain't fucking working. We need to shape it. We're going to have to change this up. Because we're going to have to buy a part. If the players are not playing for Ange, the players are going to have to play for the fans.
Yeah, the only one I see
we want this trophy. They know we want it.
The only one I see doing that is Vicario. I mean, when Romero made that fuck up right in the first minute, he was straight over to him and grabbed him by the fucking shirt and tried to shake him up. And even when the goal went in, one of the goals went in, he was straight out to everybody. And I mean, he's come right out of his goal and he's talking to centre midfielders. He's going over to the wingers. He's telling them what he wants this. And I think that is your only sort of captain type. And that probably wasn't
Vicario. Sorry, I'm Vicario.
Yeah, there probably wasn't a guy who would thought would be the one to do all that. But I think he has to, because I don't think there's anyone else that can do it. And that's including our man who's got the armband. He just can't do it. So yeah, that is, if anything goes tits up with Ange, I think he'll always look back at that and think, where was my senior players when I really needed them? Where was my fighters? And none of them have done that. So, but then listen, there might be things going on behind the scenes of the way he might approach the players or his style. Very Alex Ferguson type, I hear. Doesn't really speak on a training pitch. Will stand there a bit headmasterish and watch it, and doesn't really have that maybe fatherly figure that everyone says that Poch had. No arm around. If it is that type, then if you lose the players, you're really going to struggle to get them back. And maybe that's what we're seeing now. If he's 59, and if he's not changed at 59, he ain't going to fucking change anytime soon. So it's a shame really if it all goes tits up. I mean, I'd love a European Cup, but I also think, if Levy's got no thought of it, keeping him on next year at all, is there a point where he does what he did with Mourinho and thinks, well, I'll get rid of him and give it to someone else? I know it's a bigger trophy and there's a lot more at stake, but I mean, some of these performances under Ange at the moment have been really hard to watch. And
do you think
Levy thinks like me? I'll be like, it's only a matter of time.
Kevin, do you think if we don't beat AZ comfortably, he could be sacked before for the next round?
No, you can't. You can't sack him before. I mean, you sack him when you're out, I think.
But But you sacked Mourinho before a cup final.
I mean, this is it. Obviously, was something going on with Mourinho, and he didn't want Mourinho there next year, and knew if he won that cup, he'd have had to keep him on. I don't know if he's got that much fucking hatred for Ange in any way, but he also knows that if he doesn't feel Ange's the right man, but Ange wins that European Cup, he's got to stay on next year. You saw it with Ten Hag at Man United. They give him a new fucking contract after he won the FA Cup. It was only a matter of time before they had a shit start that he was going to go, and he was gone for the first couple of months. I mean, that's the decision you got to make, and that's what he did with Mourinho. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it did happen, but I honestly believe that we're on our way out as soon as we play someone who's a bit better than Alkmaar. And I thought Alkmaar were fucking average as well, and we made them look really, really good. And that's the shit thing about it.
They are, and I've got to be honest, they are an average team. I'd say that night I watched them when we beat them in the group stage. We were in second gear at best. The best on the pitch was Mikey Moore by a country mile, but we just, even then, it was like, if it weren't him dribbling and beating 2 or 3 players, picking it up from, not far after the halfway line, dribbling with it, if he weren't making something happen, there was nothing happening.
It needs that at the moment. I think it needs, I mean, that Odobert had a better game. That Odobert had a better game yesterday, and he did skin a few players, and he did cut in the middle, and he got everyone off their seat a bit. I think his best bet at the moment, Ange, is throwing your Mikey Moores in. Obviously, your senior players need to come back, but you've got to try and find something fresh in these remaining Europa League games. You've got to find a Mikey Moore to take it on the wing, go and beat 3 players and put one in the top corner against Thursday. It just lifts people. At the moment, there's no lifting anyone, especially in them league games. I mean, Van der Ven got a massive cheer when he come on. I mean, that was probably the biggest cheer I fucking heard apart from the 2 goals.
He was the one who went running with the ball, didn't he? He was the one that we like. What we want the wingers to do, Van der Ven was doing. He was running from the back.
Yeah, it needs that bit of excitement factor at the moment with maybe like a couple of young players coming on or being involved in these league games, especially just something fresh. Because at the moment it is going stale, and if it carries on going stale, we're going to lose all our league games, and we'll be out of the Europa League anytime soon.
Yeah, I think it's tough. It's a tough one to call. And as I say, I think I'm with you there. You need to bring people in that are going to want it and going to show that they want it. They're hungry to want it. Mikey Moore's one of those. Hopefully, bringing back Van der Ven. I'd start him. And Romero on Thursday, if I'm being totally honest. I think we need to set our stall out. We need to have a comprehensive win. We're far better than AZ. We are far better than AZ in every way. And we should be able to take them apart. I do worry that they are going to sit deep and it's going to be hard to break them down. That you'd understand why they would. They're taking a 1-0 to our ground. They're not going to come out and go silly, and they're going to probably wait to play on the break. But we've got to unlock them. I think that's so key for us to do it. As for the Premier League, like you said yesterday, it's a weird one because there's nothing to it now. I don't know if there's a derby at our ground. I know we've got Chelsea away, but really, there's nothing really there for us at our ground. Really, I know there's Southampton. I think I'm going to go to that game, but it's just one of those where you look at it and go, well, yeah, it's all resting on this. And and this is the thing when it comes to Ange. I do think if there was that slight tweak and that slight change about how he set up and the different rhythm of playing across 90 minutes, going Ange ball at times, being a bit reserved at other times, I think we'd look a much better team. I think the players would probably look better. I think what's exposing these Basumas and Bentancur, as much as I think that someone like Bentancur, he hasn't looked the same since his injury. I think the fact that the way that they've got to try and play, it just doesn't suit them. And whether or not that's their fault or the manager's fault, it is what it is. But I think when we're staying so open, it shows a naivety. And I think for me, the manager, if it's him, he needs to learn. If he gets a 3rd season, he needs to learn that the Premier League doesn't roll like this, and it doesn't. You're not a hamster on a wheel. He needs to learn that there's modes to the game, and you've got to pick up and choose when you go full on the pedal and realize then when you've got to kill a game and kill a team's sting. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you burn yourself out. The players, they start to lose faith because, like you said, Kev, I saw a thing on Twitter. I don't know if it was someone who lip read what, but there was a Maddison and Son, and I think it was it was something where it was like Maddison in speech marks. It was like, oh, he's just doing the same thing. We're just not learning. He's doing the same thing, and I don't know if that's the exact dialogue that he said, but I think that's what's come out now, and it's been hard. Like you say, it's been hard to watch these games, and whether it's been Villa in the FA Cup or fucking Liverpool. You guys went there, you fucking went all the way up there on school nights. You know what I mean, and gave everything, and it's tough to see that. And I think a lot of that.
I think that Alkmaar game for me was probably, for me personally, the worst game of the season. I mean, Liverpool, really? Yes, we didn't have a shot on target up there, but listen, we was always going to get beat. Coventry, I said Coventry was pretty bad. We got away with that one in the first round of the cup. But Alkmaar, just for the importance of the game and where we are this season and what we need to achieve, that for me was our worst performance of the season for me, just for what was at stake. And for the way he sort of conducted himself on the side by not really showing anything. I mean, I watched that Raiola yesterday, Bournemouth, and that geezer was fucking up and down. He was like a fucking Jack in the Box. Up, down, screaming for everything. The animation on him, the passion on him. I mean, that's what we're missing. I know he's not really that kind of Conte type where he goes a bit fucking mental, but we've seen him lose his shit on the side. And I was thinking, well, that Alkmaar game, when's he going to lose his shit? Because they are playing the complete opposite of the way that he says he has his football teams to play. And he had the half-time, and I always think at half-time maybe he'll get them in. They came out and was the same. It's like, if you can't get them playing the way you want them to play, what can you do? And you ain't going to win football matches by players not wanting to play the way you want to play. So it's like, I just think it's a matter of time. And I think he's defeated inside. I think the fan base is probably a bit more defeated as well with him now. And I don't know. I hope he proves me wrong, and I hope we go and win this European Cup. But I don't know. It's a really funny time at the moment. And yeah, the players are just not doing any favours for him either. And I don't know, boys. It's gonna be a tough few weeks, I think, coming up.
You booked your hotel flight to Bilbao yet, Kev?
Do you know what, mate? I'm glad I didn't, because I was going to book Bilbao in November. Because I still think on our day, if we play to our maximum, I actually think we can win this cup. That's the thing.
I still think we will. But
they're not playing at their maximum at the moment, and I don't know how that can change. If you can't go over to Alkmaar and beat a shit Dutch side, what are you going to be like when you go over to Amsterdam, or you're going to go Frankfurt, Lazio away? I mean,
it's different though, Kev. I think it's different. Like, we have got players returning. They need to get fully back fit. Do you know what I mean? I think we need to just scrape through Razor.
This is the thing, Matt. You haven't really got time to start gelling everyone back in. Like, they're a bunch of they're a mixed bag of jelly babies, really, at the minute. Like, you've got players that have been there shit all year. You've got players that are coming back from long injuries. You've got players coming back from short injuries. No one's had consistency and time to gel together. You're kind of just throwing players back in. I mean, Van der Ven was at the back with Danso yesterday. He's not even fucking played with him yet. It's like, it's just getting these players back. It would have been nice if we had a few months to gel them back together, but they're all coming back at the same time towards the end of the season when we've got must-win games and really important games. I just don't know if you'll have that time to gel them. I mean, you can only train as much as you can. I don't know, but yeah, I think the injury crisis is just fucking killed us this year, and we'd like to have played our best back four all season, really. Because I think it would benefit us in the latter part of the season. But at the moment, I wouldn't know who to play centre-back. Archie Gray didn't play yesterday, and he's been our fucking best player all year. So does he put him in back Thursday? You've got Romero who come back and look rusty. You've got Romero, Van der Ven, who went on a run, and I was thinking, fucking hell, his hamstrings are going to pop. You've got Danso, who's played really, really well. But probably was a bit shaky yesterday, but he's been okay, Danso. So you've got all these players back now, and you've got to try and find the right blend to who to play. And you want to pick your best players, but if you know your best players haven't played with these players, can you chuck them in a Lazio away, a Van der Ven and an Archie Gray who've not played together yet? It's really risky stuff. And I mean, he'll make that decision and he'll have to sit on it if it goes right or wrong. But it's just all come at a bit of a shit time that everyone's coming back, because I just don't know how much consistency you can get with them playing with each other at the moment.
I think for me, you go first team. I go Thursday. I'm going Vicario, out goes Porro, Jed Spence in at right back, Udogie at left back, Romero, Van der Ven, Archie Gray in the middle of the park with Maddison and
Yes, Lee, 100% Archie Gray.
Yeah,
that is what we need.
And Sarr. Yeah, and then I go Odeber, Johnson for the pace because we're going to have to play over the top and try and run through them or dribble at them, and then Son up front, and then we'll see what happens with Tell. I mean, yeah.
AZ are going to come in with a low block, and I think you'll see Jed Spence. I think you'll see Jed Spence on the bench with Porro starting there.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
you mentioned the forwards, Eddie. You've got Solanke though. Don't forget, you want him up top. Really.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is he back? Because I know he came off on Thursday. He was back yesterday. So yeah, I mean, it could be that I'll start him. For me, I just think we need to get it out as quick as we can to the wingers, and they've got to run at them because, like Matt says, with the low block, we have to do something where we can get at them and put them on the back foot as much as possible, make them worry. I really believe in Gray that he can pass the ball when he can spread it. I think he's better than the others that have been playing.
Bergvall was fantastic yesterday. He come on at I think at half time, if I remember right.
Yeah, he changed it. He changed it.
And he is exactly what we were just talking about a while ago, Lee, about young players are hungry. Once he came on, the mood changed in the place because he put his foot in for a fucking tackle. He ducked a shoulder, went past a couple of players. And listen, you've been supporting Spurs long enough, boys, that when you've got a player like that sort of type who's going to get on the ball and run at people, he'd be brilliant. He'd be a favourite down at Spurs. And he's got that Bergvall. He just 18 years old and he cares so much and he wants to play and he wants to be there. And that's what all the rest of them need to be like. And I mean, listen, I've been Son's biggest critic, but it just shows you that if you bench Son and bring him on, you might get a different tune out of him because he wouldn't have done what he did in that game if he would have started. No way. You put him on the bench because he's out of form, and he sat there and thought, "Fucking, when I come on, they're going to rely on me. I'm their captain." And he, to be fair, I thought he done okay when he come on, Son. I thought his penalty was brilliant as well. So yeah, it just sometimes it takes maybe to drop a player to maybe just to make them realise that your place ain't as what's the word? Place ain't taking your place for granted sort of thing. So
yeah. But I mean, would you say any different to the team that I was saying with Bergvall being yours? Would you have the back four as I said? You obviously said about Jed Spence and Porro.
I'd change Porro for Spence, mate. I really would because we know how Udogie can bomb forward. Spence, I love Spence, but he's not a goal threat, is he? He never gets to that byline and cuts it back or anything like. Where Porro, we're going to need crosses in that box, and I think Porro will be the answer against AZ. Fulham on the weekend, then you bring Spence back in, yeah. But with a low block, I think we need to think about that. Older midfielder, I'd bring in Gray, older midfield, mate. I would. And then I think it has to be Maddison and Bergvall. And then I probably would, because obviously I think we have to go Sonny, Solanke and Johnson as the front three.
Fair. Yep. Kev, where's your head at with the starting team?
Yeah, Vicario in goal. I mean, I'm dying to see Archie Gray in that midfield. So, maybe Van der Ven and Danso. I don't think Romero was quite at it yesterday. I mean, there was some severe rust on him yesterday, which is expected because he's been out for so long. I'd start Spence and Udogie each side. I mean, Porro, I'm really done with Porro. I understand his attacking threat and his crosses, but if you're going to do that, I mean, I'd rather play him instead of Brennan Johnson in that position. If you want to rely on his delivery and stuff like that, because when he goes forward, he can't get back. I mean, a lot of goals come from down his side. So yeah, I'd like to see Archie Gray in centre midfield if I could. Bergvall, Maddison, I'd like to see in there. Son, I don't know about Son. It's a tricky one if I'd start Son tomorrow. I mean, he hasn't done himself any favours, but it's a big game. You might need a big player to pull Solanke out, and hopefully he can. Yeah, Solanke up front. So yeah, that'd be probably how I'd go.
When's the pigeon back?
Who?
When's the pigeon back, mate?
Someone's fucking shot him, mate. He's under a fucking bridge in Bruce Grove. I mean, he's the sort of player you probably need around the place at the minute in the team. Someone who don't really give a shit and wants to put their tackles in and rub people up the wrong way. You're probably kind of missing that side because they haven't really got any nastiness in there and any shit housery, as we keep saying. Yeah, he's probably missed in a lot of ways. Not so much for his fucking goal scoring, but the other stuff.
It's crazy, and I mean, look, with all this said and done, we've picked our teams, we've said about our positives, our shortcomings. What do you actually think the score is going to be, Matt? What's the score going to be Thursday night?
3-0 Spurs.
Comfortable 3-0, done by half time.
3-0 Spurs. Yeah. Boys, we're going to win this cup. 3-0 Spurs.
I like it. I love that. Kev, what are you thinking? As positive as Matt?
Yeah, no, I fancy us to go through. I mean, I'm more worried about the next round. I do think we'll go through. I think if the crowd get behind them, which they should. I mean, if we have a couple of hairy moments from the start, I mean, everyone's going to go negative in there, and it's going to do absolutely nothing for us. But no, I do believe that they'll start the game well, Spurs, and
no matter how we get through, the next round has to be better. Like AZ, it is what it is. Just get through. But Frankfurt or Ajax, we have to be on point.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0, I think, for Spurs. I do think we'll keep a clean sheet and score a couple. So yeah, I'll go 2-0.
I think 2-0 as well. I do think 2-0. I think it's going to be a bit of a nervy first half, and we'll get the goals in the second half. It's all we can. It's all we can hope for. And as I say, we can then go to the next round and just take it as it comes. I think the Fulham game, I mean, what would you guys think about that? Matt, do you even care about it? I mean, we've got to care about it, but I mean, it's the first season we're not going to win 10 league games at home since 2010-11 season. But I guess you look at this, what does Fulham mean to you as a supporter?
Look, you never want to see Spurs lose a game. You want us to go out and try and win any game, but after Fulham, it's international break, no? So we don't have a game after that. So there's no excuse to rest players, and we might have to rotate. If he goes Van der Ven and Ramiro against AZ, then he'll have to change that up against Fulham. But I think we'll lose at Fulham. I think we lose at Fulham. I don't think we're in form at all, really. I don't think there's no confidence around the team. I think we beat AZ, we'll make some changes, lose to Fulham, go on the international break, and we come back and we concentrate again. But our focus is Europa League. It is going to be Europa League.
Kev, how do you look at Fulham as a game, as a supporter? Obviously, like Matt says, we want to win, but does it feel like a bit of a pre-season friendly almost?
Yeah, I mean, I think Fulham away is not really the sort of team you want to play when you're either going to bin the league off or you're just resting your certain players that you want for European Cup competitions. Yes, it's not a game that I want. We're quite lucky. I know. Listen, we're away to Chelsea and West Ham as well. I mean, I think I'm going to go to. Well, I'm definitely going to go to Chelsea. But they're the sort of games that you really don't want. So if you can pick up any points, home to Southampton, home to Palace, away to Fulham, even though I think it's going to be tough. I mean, you can sort of the Chelsea and West Ham games that probably are what they're going to be. Even when we're playing well, they're tough games. So when you're not playing well. So these other games we've got to play really, I mean, quite important for morale and stuff like that and getting players minutes again. But yeah, Fulham isn't the game that I really want to watch. I'll probably watch it from behind the sofa and does give me a bit of an empty feeling because my head's all on the Europa League now. And if we go out of that, then fucking hell, I mean, just roll on May and just get the season finished.
Yeah, you said that. I forgot we've got West Ham and Chelsea away, yeah. And look, mate, you don't want to be going there the form we're in, mate, because we're just going to get taken the piss out of by their fan base. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know West Ham not too great at the minute, but if we went out Europa League and we had to go to one of them grounds, we'd be an embarrassment.
If we go out the Europa League, I might change my mind on going actually. I mean, I think once we go to the Europa League, I think there'd be fucking tickets flying everywhere for away games. I think it'd be so easy to get one because everyone would just be like, "Well, I'm just done now." We're not going down, but we're not winning games. We're not in any cups. Our manager's about to get the sack, so why fucking spend the money and you travel and you drink and everything else? It fucking adds up. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, listen, I won't be going to another home game in the league this year, but I'll be doing the next European trip if we get there, which I do think we'll get there. Only because we ain't going to be in Europe next year for me. So it's like I'm going to.
Kev, we'll be in the Champions League, mate. Kev, we'll be in the Champions League next year.
That's it, Matt. Nice and positive, son.
What are you drinking tonight, Matt? No, I want a bit of it. That's why. But no, I mean, look, let's hope our season is still on in April. That one thing that's obviously big for us in April is we're doing a live event. We are going to be at Madden's Bar in Finchley on Monday, the 28th of April, with the one, the only Steve Perryman. We've been talking to Steve, absolutely lovely chap.
Lee, how was that for being starstruck? Speaking to Steve Perryman.
Mate, so I was basically I was on the way to work. I was doing some work on some adverts in Central. I was in Primark just looking at a jacket, and I'm working with a guy called Steve. So the phone rings, and I go, "Hello." He goes, "All right, Lee, it's Steve." I went, "Oh, Steve, all right. I'm only about 5 minutes." He went, "No, Steve Perryman, mate." I went, "Oh, fucking hell, sorry, mate." And we went and had a 15-minute conversation. It was great, really great to talk to Steve. He's really excited about the event. Told him, we'd love to have him on the pod. It's something that we're looking to get going to talk about the event. So it's something that is hopefully happening in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, mate, it's you imagine, right? He seemed really down to earth, which was great, because I guess on the night, there's us four that are going to be talking to him, and it's one of those things where you've seen him, you've heard the stories. I've seen him on VHSs, and I see him at the ground on the big screen, all the goals, lifting the UEFA Cup in the 80s, and then obviously talking at halftime as he does. So for us to be a part of that is huge, and I know that everything's going really, really well at the moment. So yeah, hopefully Spurs' season is continuing as long as ours, because 28th of April is a massive day for us. Massive day. I mean, the podcast has been smashing it with the numbers all season. It's gone up and up and up. We can only thank you, all the listeners, and all the people that are obviously across all the social platforms that watch us or listen to us in different formats and get in touch. It's been a fantastic, really, really successful season for us.
Lee, speaking of legends, did you see who was on the pitch before the game at Bournemouth?
No, I wasn't there. Who was there?
Fucking Nicky Barmby on the fucking touchline.
You've been saying about what it is to him as well.
Yeah, mate. I was just like, listen, if anybody knows Nicky Barmby or anybody knows anything that can help us out and get us Nicky Barmby on here, like, I swear to you, it would mean the world to me, because, like I said, he was my first favourite player. And I got up on the thing, and I was with my mate Lee, who I grew up with, and I had a Barmby top, he had an Anderton top, and Nicky Barmby was brilliant. And that's the first time I think that I can remember I've seen him down there, because he's one of them players that sort of just
I've never seen him.
I don't think he's on Twitter. He's not on anything like that at all, as far as I know. But yeah, he's someone I'd love to get on, and yeah, just seeing him, just brought back the memories. I mean, he's a real legend in my eyes. It's just a player that I just fell in love with as a kid. So yeah, he's definitely in the legend category when you talk about legends like Steve Perryman for me. Yeah, Nicky Barmby.
This is it. Now we've got to get them all on that. Thanks. We've got to get them all on that. I mean, this is the start. We know we want to talk. We obviously spoke to a top gentleman in Ramon Vega at the start of our journey here, and now this has moved on to do a live event as well. Is going to be really, really good. So if you haven't got your tickets, get in touch with us. Look on our socials. It's Madden's Bar. It's a Monday night. Listen, it's start of spring into summer. It's perfect. If you need something that's about Spurs, with us, proper Spurs, come and have a drink with us. Come and talk to us. Come and have a picture. Talk to Steve Perryman. I mean, people I'm talking about have got their tickets. They're really, really excited about it. So, yeah, I can't talk. I'm off for the whole month of April. So, for me, I'm having a good beer that night. I'll tell you that. I'm going to go to that Ben and Eubank fight. Did anyone get tickets for that at White Hart Lane?
No, I didn't, because we was queuing up for it. Lee was queuing up, and he was like 50. He got on there, and he was like 58,000 in the queue, and he was like, "Well, fuck this."
Mate, there's loads of tickets now.
He said that to me yesterday. He went, even though he was in that queue, he's give up, and he said there's still tickets there, but we was going to try and sit quite close. So I don't know what tickets are left, if they're up in the gods or what. But because it's such a good card, I really wanted to pay a few quid and sit quite close to it and watch all the fights properly. But yeah, so we need to look into that, actually, because if there is a decent price ticket and it's near the front-ish, I'll probably go to it.
Yeah, I'm sitting further away, but it was like 50 quid, and I was like, and I did it because I'm away the week before, and it's my mate's birthday, and he fancies the boxing, and I was like, right, yeah, all right, we'll go and make a day of it, because at Tottenham we can do all the pubs and whatnot. It's going to obviously be a good atmosphere. got the Perryman a couple of days later. So yeah, it's all looking really, really good there. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm going TJ. I'm having TJ's ticket for Southampton, which is, it's a good problem. It'd be a nothing game, and even if we get through this round, it's the Southampton game is before the first leg of the quarterfinal. So obviously, if Andrew's smart, we'll have to pick and choose how he picks the team, because I guess Kulusevski will be coming back. Hopefully the defenders are good. They've got this bloody international break, which is not nice. So yeah, I'm gonna go a couple of times in the next few weeks to White Hart Lane. But for us, as I say, April is a massive, massive month. So please get in touch with us. DM us if you need to. But if you need a ticket, we can help sort that out and let you know how best to get it. But yeah, really, really exciting times. And I just want to say, also exciting for the under-18s. They played Arsenal, Tottenham v Arsenal, under-18s in the under-18 Premier League on Saturday, and it was a 6-4 win for Spurs. Our main man, Luca Jamie Williams-Bonnet, got 2 goals.
Seen his goal,
Malachi Hardy.
Lee, seen his
goal? I ain't seen. It's good.
Whew.
It's good.
Mate, you need to have a look at his goal.
Lee, stay there. While you're talking, Lee, I'll put it in WhatsApp and you can quickly look at it now.
All right, I'll have a look at it as we speak.
Screamer.
They need to get him. Like, I know it's a bit late now, but I tell you what, I can't see it being too long before he's playing, because this guy, I don't know the last time he didn't score when he plays for this at this level. Now I know going up to 2 levels, passing the under 21 and getting into the senior team is a big, big move. But he's got the strength, size, height, the feet. This guy. Let me have a look. I'll have a quick look, real time, as we're doing this, ladies and gents.
Yeah, mate, I've just sent it through now. On the group chat.
I'm having a look. Right, he's on the ball. Oh, top bins. He did it from outside the box. Top bins. Fucking hell. He's a player. And that was a 6-4 win. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But there was one thing as well.
That's ball that we know. Yeah, that's Ange's ball that we know, like winning 6-4 or something like that. They're the sort of games
take that all day.
Back. I want them games back.
Yeah, it has got. That's the thing. The lack of goals has been the worry about it. But let's hope, at least 3 on Thursday. But talking about
if he does get the boot, I'm telling you now, go and look at this Bournemouth manager. I think he might be the one.
He'll have to be
for us. Yeah,
he'll do everything they can.
I think he'd leave. I think he'd leave them for us as well. If we knocked on the door, I don't think they could keep hold of him.
Fingers crossed. But in terms of scorers in Europe, I thought we'd end with a little bit of a quiz, as we normally do. And I've just been looking through the last sort of 10, 15, maybe 20 years. I remember us getting back into Europe around 2006. And I've been looking at the different tournaments that we're in and who was the top scorers in those different years. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you both separate questions. I'm going to ask you who you thought was the top scorer in Europe for Spurs in that year. Right? So I will tell you what the trophy is. I'll tell you what the season was. You've got to tell me who the top scorer was, and I'll give you another point if you tell me how many goals that they scored. Did anyone up for going first?
Yeah, I'll go first, mate.
All right, Kev. Right, lovely. I'm going to go, Kev, with you. Season 2012-2013 Europa League. Who was the top scorer for Spurs and how many goals? I'll give you 1 point for if you get either one of them, but 2 points if you get correct scorer and goals. 2012, 2013 Europa League.
Can't chuck a couple of names in there.
I might do, seeing how we get on with your first goes each.
2012, 2013. I'm trying to think who's Gaffer then? AVB was around 2010, wasn't he? No, he weren't. He was about 2011, wasn't he? 2012.
No, he was there. It was AVB's year.
Was it AVB's year? I'll go for. Oh, no, it ain't him because he throws him out. Oh, I'll tell you what. No, I'll go for Adi Bayor.
Okay. How many goals?
Is it how many goals in that competition?
Yeah.
I'll go for 7.
I can tell you it wasn't Adebayor. Matty, do you want to have a go?
Trying to think, was Lamela there? Because he scored a couple of goals in Europa League, didn't he? Like, he used to love a Europa League goal. I don't know if it was in that time. I think. Who bought Lamella in? It come in the Ericsson deal. Like with all Ericsson.
Yeah, it was when we signed about 7 players at once. You remember? They was all in there.
I'm going to stick with Lamella because I always know over the years he used to love Europa League.
Okay, I can say you both were wrong. The answer was Jermaine Defoe with 4 goals.
See, I used to think, like, when Adebayo was there, he was kind of our only striker. I didn't know Defoe was
smashing. They did well together.
Well, Adebayo come in. He started when Sherwood come in, didn't he? He took over from AVB, and Sherwood did that shit, and then I don't know. If
he was also there under. He was there with. I thought he came. Yeah. Actually, he came with AVB. Yeah, I think he came with AVB. No, he was there with Harry Redknapp for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but Sherwood got him scoring. Do you remember he kept fucking off back to Africa for things?
The whole salute. Yeah. That was
right. Sherwood got him playing towards the end of that season. I remember.
That was a good question, you know, Lee. That got my mind ticking.
It's a tough one. I'm going to go back then, Matt. I'm going to start with you this time, and I'm going to say the 2008-2009 UEFA Cup season. Who was our top scorer and how many goals?
That was like
2008-2009.
Was Harry Redknapp not around?
How many goals?
Who was our manager?
He was. So he took over Ramos.
Pavlyuchenko.
Pavlyuchenko. With how many goals?
7.
Kev, what are you saying?
So what competition was this? Europa League?
This is the last time we played in the UEFA Cup in its old form before it changed.
Yeah. So it was the year after we won the Cup. It was for Ramos's year, wasn't it? Then Redknapp took over.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go for... Oh, did he fuck off that summer, though? I'll go for Robbie Keane. And I'll go for
goals?
6. I don't know if Keane fucks off to Liverpool that summer, though. I'll go for Keane.
I can both say you're both incorrect again. It was with 4 goals, Darren Bent. It was Darren Bent. 4 goals.
I'll tell you who'd be good at this. TJ, because he remembers years back, like there's the years, you know. Where I'm trying to think.
I'll be honest, I don't even remember Darren Bent fucking scoring a goal for us. I remember him missing that sitter and Redknapp. Do you remember Redknapp slaughtering him? Saying his missus would have scored it. Fucking killed him.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
That's why he hates us so much. And he's a gooner as well, isn't
he? Oh. So I'll do one more. And this is from the 2010-2011 season. If you could both name who you feel was the top scorer and how many goals.
Is this UEFA Cup as well?
This is the Champions League now, 2010-2011.
Okay. I'm stuck between 2.
I'm going super.
I'll go for Peter Crouch.
Oh, hang on.
How many goals?
5.
Okay.
See, I'm going to go Pav because I think we played Zimbru. No, not Zimbru. Who did we play in the knockout stage? We were 3-0 down and he got a hat-trick in the qualifiers. So that's 3 goals already. Young boys. So I'm saying it's 3 goals already in the qualifier. So I'm going to stick with Pav.
Yeah, he might be right, actually.
I can tell you that there was 2. And the one thing you're saying, Matt, is that the young boys game, we actually lost 3-2, but Pavlyuchenko got 2 goals.
Yeah.
One of the top scorers was Peter Crouch. There's one more.
Rafa van der Vaart. I'll go for Van der Vaart.
Pavlyuchenko.
Not Van der Vaart.
Is that what you're saying, Van der Vaart?
Yeah, I'll go for Rafa van der Vaart.
Matt, who are you saying?
So Pavlyuchenko's not one of them.
Not one of them, no.
Wow.
TJ screaming. The audience is screaming at their screen, at their Alexa device, their audios.
Oh yeah, Matt want to go to bed.
Bow.
Okay. How many goals do you both think?
5.
Kev?
4.
I could tell you that there was 2 scorers. One was Peter Crouch. The other one was Gareth Bale.
Whew.
Now, to win it, one of you said 5 goals and one of you said 4 goals. Matt said 5. Kev said 4. There is a winner. And both Crouch and Bale scored 4 goals to be joint top scorer. So Kev wins the quiz today.
Yes,
You
yeah.
done it.
Yes, it.
Lee, why did you have to make it so tense?
It's my audition for Mastermind.
Like, both scored 4 goals.
Been watching too much The Chase today.
I think that's what
no,
it
lad,
made me tense. Well done, Kev.
yeah, well done. Yeah, that Young Boys game was 3-2. I
3-2.
remember it. I was watching it.
Yeah,
on
you know what?
we were 3-0 down in no time.
I couldn't stand Pavlyuchenko, but when he scored that double in that game, they were good goals as well.
It's a bullet. I've never seen this hard.
I didn't fancy him at all, Pavlyuchenko, really, but not bad player.
But well done, lads. I mean, look, it's a nice way to end what has been a bit of a tough one because we know how critical Thursday is for everyone listening who's watched along. Thanks so much for watching and getting involved, for listening. Listen, back the team, like Kev, like Matt, like TJ, like myself. Back the team. It's going to be tough, but we get through this one and then look, we're into the quarterfinals and then it's anyone's game. We've just got to get all these players back, get this out of the way, and job could be a good one. And like Matt says, we could be in the Champions League this time next year. So who knows? But Kev, Matt, all the very best, mate. Wherever you're watching, enjoy it. And let's hope that we're here on Sunday after Fulham. Very, very, very happy set of supporters. This has been the Heart and Hair Spurs Fans podcast. We will see you after the AZ second leg and Fulham. Let's keep the faith and let's do this. Come on, you Spurs. See you next week.